Some players prefer chocolate, others vanilla, and I never really liked the Grinlok. There's a reason why I never reviewed this weapon. But with the introduction of the Prisma, I finally saw my opportunity to see what exactly is this weapon capable of. Hey guys, hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be diving deeper into this Mastery Rank 11 primary weapon, the Prisma Grinlok. As per the usual, I'm going to be having a cheap build, something affordable that anybody can build, but of course we also have the crazy setup with the Riven. That said, please keep in mind that my builds and guides take a new player friendly approach. I take my time and explain a lot of the basics that some of you may already know, so in case you're a veteran and you already know most of this stuff, please bear with me. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Prisma Grinlok. Let's begin by quickly taking a look at how the weapon handles, then we're going to be jumping into a stat comparison with the normal version, just so we can better understand what kind of buffs we got on the Prisma. Now, there's not a lot to say about the Grinlok. As you can see, this is a pinpoint accurate lever action semi-automatic rifle, and it is pinpoint accurate for up to 35 meters, something like that. Now let's take a gander. 34 meters, this should be good enough. This is maximum fire rate through the use of a macro. As you can see, the fire rate is a tad on the sluggish side, but you got nothing on the accuracy. Take a look at that. Almost all of the bullets in the exact same spot. So if you're the type of player that enjoys those precision headshots, you're going to be loving your time with this weapon. Now let's see what kind of buffs we got, or is this an optic or vandal kind of affair? Grinlok. Accuracy went down from 44 to 32, and I suspect they did this so it's not viable for heavy caliber, but more on that just a tad later. Critical chance saw above 21% up from 15, and a larger critical multiplier 2.9x, more than double the magazine capacity at 21, and a smidge of an increase on the status chance as well, 37% instead of 35. Now the damage value wise is exactly the same, but impact and slash interchanged values, which means it's going to be a whole lot easier now to get a lot of slash procs through the weapon's innate status chance. Now I'm going to be showcasing free builds and you guys get to choose whatever you prefer. But first things first, if your mod capacity is only 30 out of 30, jump into actions and install the Auto King Catalyst. The Auto King Catalyst can be found from alerts, invasions, or you can also get it from Nightwave. It still appears in invasions and it still appears on alerts after div streams and all whatnot. And you can also pay 20 plat to have one plugged in. My weapon has been formatted a total of 5 times, but I format this many times so I can test all sorts of mod combinations. For the weapon build I'm recommending you guys, free format will be more than enough. Simply add 3 V symbols as the weapon does come with a default V symbol or Madurai. Now let's take a look at what kind of stats we got with a build such as this. Damage serration. You cannot really use heavy caliber if you want to keep the weapon's accuracy. Now the multi-shot resulting from split chamber and vigilante armaments will be going completely off the crosshairs if you choose to go for heavy cal. At the very least, try 2 from the top heavy cal. This is a bit more manageable. You also have amalgam serration when it comes to damage. Now this is a brand new mod introduced with the Gas City rework. You're sacrificing 10% of the damage from the normal serration to get 25% sprint speed for your Warframe. From my point of view, this is totally viable, but of course it's up to you, and for testing purposes, we're going to be keeping the normal serration, as these two do not stack. Of course, critical chance with point strike and deadly sequence. Take a look at this one. It is absolutely bloody glorious. 200% critical chance for the Grinlok only, and +1 sequence. Now the sequence is a syndicate proc. When you get 2000 affinity, you will release an AoE blast 25 meter radius that will deal 1000 radiation damage, and it has a guaranteed radiation proc. Now when your enemies start fighting each other, that's the radiation proc. You're also going to be getting 25% of your maximum shields restored and a boost to your base shields by 50% for 25 seconds. Now needless to say, this synergizes very well with the brand new Warframe Hildren, which is why I suspect they released the Prisma Grinlok at this time at least. Critical damage with Vital Sense, and you can also go for bladed rounds. Now Vigilante Armaments is my option mod, my mod of choice, but you can go for something like Shred, more fire rate to patch up that, well, kinda lackluster fire rate that the weapon has, and you're also getting that 1.2 meters worth of punch through. If you guys got Prime Shred, just go for Prime Shred. Punch through is always useful, okay, on most weapons, not all of them. Some of them can't really make use out of it, but it's gonna work wonders on the Prisma Grinlok. Elemental damage, you will see that I have built corrosive on the weapon with the 260-60 mods. Now I did this because I'm gonna be shooting corrupted heavy gunners which are equipped with ferrite armor, but elemental damage should always be applied depending on your own circumstances. Where are you going and who are you fighting? For example, maybe you're going to fight the infested. I would recommend AoE weapons heavily modded into heat. The infested are not too powerful as individual targets, but they have this tendency to swarm you with their numbers. Also, the infested have 4 health types, each with their own unique vulnerabilities and resistances to damage. More on that on the wiki. But if you're going down to Orb Vallis to fight to the corpus and all whatnot, then I would build gas or toxin and bypass their shields entirely and deal damage to their health. Also, a slash build versus corpus works wonders, but more on slash just a tad later. From this setup, there is only one mod which is a tad iffy. High voltage. This one can be found from the mission Na Elgar on the planet Eris. You gotta find all the free secret caches, then upon extraction you got a 5% chance of getting this one or Shell Shock, which is the exact same thing but only for shotguns. I'll be honest here, you are gonna need both of them eventually, and the grind on Na Elgar, well, let's just say it's not that fun. If you don't have this one, simply replace it with the 90% mod Electricity Stormbringer. Now let's test the weapon and see what kind of punch it's got. Then we're gonna be talking about slash builds and how to best leverage slash builds and more about status chance and status procs and so on and so forth. We got level 120 corrupted heavy gunners, and you will see that I need about 6 to 7 shots to completely annihilate one of these high level targets, and I want you guys to keep an eye on my procs. Let's see, 4 or 5 hits in this guy. I got corrosive, but I also got a fair amount of slash procs. Actually, I'm getting more slash procs than I'm getting corrosive procs on the target. And as you can see, with a red slash, an orange slash better said, I'm gonna be able to completely annihilate one of these high level targets. Now for an MR11 weapon, this is more than respectable. 5 to 6 shots to annihilate a 120 corrupted heavy gunners, that is pretty good. But we can do so much better if we accept the fact that this is a full-blown slash weapon. Now I don't like slash weapons, but it is better when you build it for slash. Before we do that, however, keep in mind the IPS rules in Warframe. And I'm fully aware that a lot of you guys know this stuff and are tired of hearing it, but I'll keep hammering this one in until everybody gets it. Impact, puncture, and slash, the physical types, have a 4 times greater chance at proccing over elemental types such as corrosive, heat, radiation, and so on and so forth. So when you're looking at a weapon and trying to figure out exactly what is the proc priority, visually multiply IPS times 4. And if you do that, you will see that the proc priority right now on my weapon is slash, impact, corrosive, puncture. If you want to mitigate this, if you want to manipulate better what will proc when, or better said, what is the proc priority, you can drop some 60-60 mods and follow them up with 90 mods. Something like this. You are dropping some status chance, but you are getting a higher corrosive value. So bear that one in mind. Alright, let's talk about slash builds. Mandatory mods as per usual: Serration, Split Chamber, Vital Sense, Point Strike, and Deadly Sequence in the case of the Grinlok. If you guys don't have Deadly Sequence, you get it from the Parent Sequence, and if you don't have that Syndicate, simply ask the trade chat. 5 maximum of 10 plat. It only costs 5,000 standing. If anybody asks more than 10 plat, they're not really being a very nice person. You can even get it for free. Hunter Munitions will be providing some of the slashes. On a crit, we got a 30% chance to apply a slash, and my critical chance is 94.5, sky high. Now what follows next is 2 very potent slash builds, and yes, one is slightly better than the other, but first we're going to be going with Argon Scope and Bladed Rounds, and I'll explain exactly why that is. First of all, Argon Scope will be increasing my critical chance on headshot while aiming, which means I'm into orange crit territory, and that means higher value slashes because of how critical multipliers work in Warframe. You don't know that? Link in the cards right now, full explanation for you guys. Now I'm going to be increasing the value of the slashes even further with more critical damage, and that would be Bladed Rounds. Now this is an on-kill effect, and personally I don't like on-kill effects, but the value of this mod cannot be underestimated. Honestly, 120% critical damage, well, it's the same amount as Vital Sense. And this is the initial slash build we're going to be testing, just so you can see exactly how much of a monster this thing can be. And honestly, I don't even like semi-automatic rifles, but this thing really packs a serious punch. Now to get the full power of the build, we're gonna have to kill off one of these high level targets. But first, look at the values. 4,400 with 8,400. Now the 8,400 was an orange slash, and the 4,400, that was a yellow slash, the normal slash. But now I got my buff from Bladed Rounds. Take a look. I'm getting 6,800 on a normal yellow slash, and it only takes a couple of shots to kill off one of these high level targets. the value of the orange slash is 13,322. Take a look at that. 2 shots on the target. I got 6,800 and 1,300. Dead. That's it. It's dead. Ain't it bloody glorious, honestly. I don't like lever rifles, but this is just so bloody powerful. And you know what? I got a build that is slightly better than this when it comes to slash. But of course, if you like higher numbers, orange numbers, I love them too, you can go for something like this. There is one build which is slightly better, however. We're going to be dropping the whole crit chance and crit damage thing, and what we're going to be doing is increasing our slash count on the target by leveraging the fact that the Grinlok is actually one of the few weapons that can double dip into slash sources. We're going to be going for an elemental combo, the elemental combo of viral. Now, viral is a very good idea on most slash builds, simply because on a status proc it will be reducing the maximum health of a target to 50% for the duration of the viral effect. So if you manage to kill a target while it's under the effects of viral, your slashes have kind of dealt double damage. It's a bit of a roundabout way of thinking it, but just think of it like that. Malignant 460, 60 for Toxin, and the cold one will be, what's it called, Rhyme Rounds. Now take a look at what we've done to the weapon. Never mind the viral and the whole proc thing, but we increased the status chance to 95.9, and we already know from earlier that slash is the highest proc priority on the weapon built like this. So I'm going to be getting slashes through Hunter Munitions, and I'm also going to be getting slashes through the weapon's base status chance, since slash is the highest. And this is how you double dip into slash proc sources. You'll see the weapon is a tad better like this, and you also get the benefits of viral. And this would be the ideal slash build from my point of view, and it doesn't include anything expensive such as Argon Scope. And I don't need to kill a target. Oh, that's 2 shots. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's done. It's dead. No need for bladed rounds. No need for anything. All I need is a couple of procs. I got viral on the target, and by the way, there's new effects in Warframe. You see, the viral effect kind of changed and all whatnot. This is the build I recommend for the weapon, 120%. It is honestly a full-blown monster. The only weakness this weapon has lies in what it is. A lever action semi-automatic rifle, usability, preference, and all whatnot. I don't use weapons like this, not when I have Ignis, Wraith, Amprax, and so on and so forth, but I can't possibly deny the power of a weapon such as this. Now, of course, there's still one more thing that we can do, is go for a Riven setup, and I got a loaner from a friend. Thank you so much, buddy. We got an awesome Riven to test out with this weapon, and this one is a Grinlok Acri I'm not even gonna try. Critical chance, damage, and critical damage, and of course, I can't really build viral now unless I drop something I don't want to drop. Oh, normal acceleration. There we go. So we're going to be going for the full crit approach, 124.2% critical chance, and my critical multiplier with bladed rounds up is going to go to, I don't know, guys, somewhere around 14 point something. So let's see what an awesome Riven can do. One of the weapon's strengths is that high Riven disposition, and you know what? Grinlok Rivens before the Prisma was launched were super cheap. Honestly, they were so super cheap because not a lot of players use this weapon. But after the buff, of course, after the Prisma went out, the price has gone up. But wait a couple of weeks. Wait a couple of weeks, guarantee that price will be going down. Now, believe it or not, with a Riven such as this, you can actually one-shot these high-level targets. All you need is one good slash on the target. Or actually, even better, 2 good slashes on the target. That's a one-shot. Puncture proc. Impact proc. And a slash proc. 14,000. Let's put one more for good measure into this target. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, God. Look at that. That was 2 orange slashes on the target. I didn't even get to see the values of them. So if you like slash weapons, if you like precision weapons like this, then you're going to be having a wonder. Oh, look at that. One shot. That's it. It's done. It's dead. It's over. From a Grinlok. From a bloody Grinlok. Honestly, I didn't believe it when I saw it. But this is one outstanding weapon. As long as you are okay with the usability issues that comes with this type of weapon. Of course, we're not going to leave things like this. We can push it even further with Warframe buffs. And I do this because mostly it's fun with Lady Mirage Prime. Now let's check out some buffs. Corrosive projection is ideal if you're going up against Grenier, but you do have other options as well. For example, you can use Rifle Amp, 27% extra damage to primary weapons. That's how it should read, but never mind that. This is an aura, so it is stackable ×4, and everybody in your party will be receiving this benefit. Now, when you're going for an amp aura, it is a bit better regardless of the target. In case like corrosive projection is only good if you're going up against some targets which have armor, but Rifle Amp will always be good. When it comes to arcanes, Now this is a bit of a debate, ain't it? First of all, Arcane Rage on headshot 10% chance for plus 120% damage to primary weapons for 16 seconds. This is a very solid arcane that you can go for, and so is Arcane Avenger. Now Arcane Avenger provides a 30% critical chance boost bonus additive after, so it stacks on top of what you already have. But what you can do is also patch that fire rate of the Grinlok with Arcane Acceleration. This is a more cheaper option. This one is farmed from the second Eidolon down on Cetus, and Acceleration and Rage and Avenger are farmed from the third Eidolon down on Cetus. We're gonna be testing it like this because if I'm gonna play the Grinlok, I'm gonna be playing it for the one-shot affair. That's what I wanna see. One shot out of this fantastic weapon. We're gonna be spawning in the same targets as before on pause, and I'm gonna be getting my buffs on with Lady Mirage Prime. I've got my free ability for a massive damage increase as well as the clones. The weapon was one-shotting before, of course it's one-shotting now, and the thing is, God, I don't even need to see a slash proc from it. Take a look at this. Even the clones are hitting, but of course the damage from the clones are not as high as the damage of the, well, primary Mirage and all whatnot. This honestly is a fantastic weapon. It does deal a whole lot of damage. The only knock against it is that it's a lever action semi-automatic rifle. If you like this style of weapon, you can also have a look at the Welt, but from my point of view, the Prisma Grinlok is the most powerful weapon in its class, as in a semi-automatic rifle, okay, semi-automatic lever action rifle. There are plenty of other weapons which are more powerful, but if this is your speed, then you're gonna be loving this weapon. It is honestly absolutely bloody phenomenal, and once again it synergizes fantastically well with the brand new Warframe Hildy. And I think, my friends, that's pretty much it. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you got any feedback for me, then by all means drop it in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below if you guys want to request a specific weapon review. Now, in all honesty, I can't exactly guarantee you that it'll be done by next time or even within a week, because these things take a bit of time to make, but I will be reading through each and every comment. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. But until next time, my friends, bye bye.